have the counter to what units you have. You want to be able to focus fire their heroes to push them back, because right now they kind of have the counter to the Gargs. A little counter, albeit, but enough of a counter to maybe have won that fight if they were able to kill off all those Gargs, and maybe even put some pressure on that Death Knight. So let's take a look at hero levels right now. We have 2 level 3 Death Knights, however we do have a Lich out for the blue undead player, and we have a level 3 Tauren Chieftain. Level 3, again, pretty nice. Instead of going for the mana route with the Tauren Chieftain, he kind of instinctively said, you know, I'm going to get all my mana pretty much burnt by that Demon Hunter anyway. I'm going to go something more useful for the team situation, and he goes Endurance Aura. The Orc player has expanded at his natural expansion, which is the good natural expansion to expand out with in between him and his base, or him and his allies' base. His allies' base and his, I don't know what the proper English is for that. But he hasn't built any more burrows, so I don't know if now it's time for him to basically feed all his resources to his ally, which he might have been doing and I wasn't paying attention. I should rewatch the replay maybe, but even if he decides to do that, it's not necessarily a really good idea because... Actually, no, I don't know, he's got peons. I don't know what that deal is. Anyway, it's not necessarily as good of an idea for them to do that because the Night Elf player has been feeding resources since the very beginning of the game, so they're always going to be behind no matter what they do. You saw the orange undead player actually mashed up a lot of fiends. This is exactly what you want. This is an ideal situation when you're going with this Garg strategy. So now, Blue's been at tier 3 for the longest part of it. He's been at tier 3 for a long time now. He's got Gargs now, are not his main production unit. He's actually producing a lot more Ghouls, and he's researched the Frenzy upgrade for them. Now, Frenzied Ghouls and all those summoned skeletons from Wands of Necromancy, I think they pick up a few of them on their heroes later on before a bigger fight. But those normal damage is going to do a lot of damage to those fiends. So normal damage obviously takes extra, or medium armor takes extra from the normal damage there. So Gargs are a really good counter to this. This is exactly what you kind of want to happen. Only, you know, this strategy is more meant to say, okay, well, the guys are going Footmen or something like that, or a lot of grunts, and you want to force them to go like Headhunters or something like that. Really, almost good surround there on the with the Ghouls there. I just missed that. That would have been a really nice surround, but we might get it off again. We got a Nova surround. Yes, this is going to force a town portal here by this orange undead play, which is really good here. Although they kind of probably would have wanted to fight this with the Orc player not being around. That blue undead player probably could have taken out a lot of those fiends at that point. But forcing a TP is always a good thing as well. You notice that he's actually stocking up on a lot of items on his heroes. Whenever you have the advantage, and whenever you have a good creep advantage like this especially, and army advantage, you know, any advantage at all, you can extend that further by buying items at the Goblin Merchant, if there's one available, obviously. And you buy either one Scroll Protection. I actually think Scroll Protection is kind of a little overrated. I don't see a lot of the higher end games, the pro games, going Scrolls of Protection. Instead, I see them really saving up to get a lot of Scrolls of Healing. Put one Scroll of Healing on each hero, and you can have potentially, you know, in this situation we have 3 allied heroes, you can have 3 Scrolls of Healing going off, and all supporting one army is really, really good, especially Ghouls when they're lower HP like this. So we're putting a little bit more pressure on that Orc base. The Orc was just now starting to rebuild all his burrows, you know, 10 minutes later after they've been all taken out, you know, almost 10 minutes later. So you can see how much that early pressure on by that Garg's pretty much screwed that one teammate and basically made this 2v2 into a 1v1 almost, except one of the players is getting fed resources completely throughout the game by the other, by his teammates. So definitely advantage goes to the player who can do this. Now, as far as the scouting out the strategy and kind of, you know, countering it, scouting it out is obviously the main thing. Early game, every game, in solo and in 2v2s as well, in team games, you want to make sure that you are scouting. I mean, it helps to know what your teammates are going. Right now we have 2 Scrolls of Healing on the Demon Hunter, and I was thinking while I was watching this that he should pass at least one of those to that Lich. However, he doesn't do that at the moment. Again, making that Lich a little bit more item dependent is a good idea. So now we got Frostworms out now. Obviously, really cool move here. He did get armor upgrades for him. I don't know if he was anticipating some Gargs as a counter or any other type of anti-air here, but he's got a good amount of Gargs to defend against that, and even if they're webbed now, Gargs, the Frostworms are going to be able to take a good amount of focus fire. They're over their 1350 hit points with 5 armor with the 2 armor upgrades. They're going to be able to take a lot of that Fiend focus fire. Not to mention they do magic damage, which I believe does extra to Fiends as well. Magic damage... medium armor. Oh no, actually they take reduced for magic damage, my bad, with the medium armor on the Fiends. However, because Fiends or Frostworms do so much damage and they have that slowing attack, they're still a very, very, very powerful choice versus Fiends. They can still attack when they're webbed, just now they're on the ground so they can be hit by other units, but in this case, there's really no other units for them to be hit by. Now, knowing that your opponents have Frostworms out, as this undead player is doing, he's actually making Abominations. Now, Abominations are a big mistake. They're very resource dependent. They cost a good amount to make. They're not that effective versus, you know, a lot of ghouls and a lot of, you know, whatever, a lot of air, obviously. Abominations aren't going to be that effective, and because they have the heavy armor, they are in fact going to be taking extra damage from those Frostworms. So, something you want to watch out for there is when you're making decisions on how to counter, make sure you kind of know your armor types and kind of realize, you know, what you're going to be up against. So, this guy is making Frostworms, which, you know, it's a good, kind of a, would be a good counter in general to a lot of lower end meat, like all those ghouls. So he's making Frostworms now, the orange undead player is making these Frostworms to kind of counter all these heavy armor, low HP ghouls, and that's definitely a good move. However, going up against, you know, even 4 or 5 Gargs and, you know, a Lich and a, you know, that can hit the air with his Frost Nova and his regular attack, and probably higher upgrade and more Gargoyle, or more Frostworms, it's not necessarily going to work out for you. So this game is pretty much over at this point, actually. And completely annihilating that green player now. He's completely out of the game. He doesn't have any, oh, he does have his heroes out. He does have his heroes out, and he's kind of sitting around at the Fountain of Health there. He just hexed the Frostworm, which he's not going to be able to do anything with, because the only thing he has that can hit air is his Shadow Hunter. Again, kind of useless at this point. However, he just gave up his position now, and he's going to get intercepted now by Frost Nova and by the Frost attack here by the Frostworms, and he's going to lose his Torn Chieftain here. He does have a Healthstone. I don't believe he uses it though. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Oh, he does use it, and like I said, it's not going to matter. Just the slowing attack from just the Frostworm is going to do it. Now, if this Night player was actually at tier 3, the Frost slowing attack on the Frostworms and also from the Frost Nova stack with the Night Elf Orb of Venom here. So this is the one time in the game that I kind of think that the blue undead player made a little bit of a mistake. He got a little bit greedy here. It was the right idea to put some pressure on here, but you'll see when he makes some targeting choices here, he's going to run all the way back, and he actually doesn't have the Frost Breath upgrade yet on his Frostworm. So the Frost Breath upgrade will basically make the the attack from the Black Citadel and all those Ziggurats would be useless on him, because as soon as he gets one attack up on his Frostworms, he's going to end up canceling their firing ability. So all those resources wasted on upgrading those Ziggurats to Spirit Powers, kind of wasted there.